Want to hear an interview with a man who loves West Virginia and has been to every county in the state on purpose 5 times? Well, stick around because we're going to be doing just that today on Let's jump right into the interview. Be sure to stick around all the way to the end to hear where Wayne would live if he could live anywhere in West Virginia. And for those of you who have been with me for a while, you'll want to stick around all the way to the end to get the channel update. But first, when asked why he makes videos about West Virginia, Wayne told me his life story and how he came to love West Virginia so much. He summarized his why like this.
This is my way of not only giving back, but paying forward to the state that brought me family, brought me community, brought me opportunities, and I never forgot that.
I was blown away by Wayne's story. If you want to hear more about him, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can see the full version of the interview. The uncut version includes information about the Miners' War, the importance of family, the people of West Virginia, the drug problem, and so much more. For now, let's hear what Wayne has to say about why West Virginia is, in most people's opinion, such a poor state.
We're mainly an extraction state, so we have a lot of extraction industries, mainly coal. They're really good when things are going good, and they provide a lot of jobs and a lot of wealth. But when they leave and you don't have anything else to replace them, it decimates an economy for a little while.
Given that we're a poor state, I bet this next piece of information is going to be of interest to you. On his 3rd trip through the counties, Wayne's brother went with him and issued a challenge. He said,
Wayne goes, you can tell me about these places all day long and, why that bank's there or why that house is there, but, I really want to get to know, like, why people love this place so much. So we had to stop and ask at least one person in every county, what makes this home to them, why they love this place so much. And some people would have 2-hour conversations with you. Some people would just be 10 minutes, some people would say, I can't wait to get out of here, but most people were like, to them, it was home, it's where their roots were, is where their history is, where their politics are, is where their church is, where their school is, and that, sort of, built that culture for them.
Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the information that Wayne shared that might help you decide which area of the state to put your roots down in. The first question I asked Wayne was if there was an area in the state that wasn't affected by coal mining. He proceeded to tell me the geological history of the state and went on to say,
as that sediment came in, you had a lot of coal deposits and coal seams that people were finding, and a lot of natural gas too. But there were other areas too in West Virginia, especially in the eastern half of the state. You look at Hampshire County, some of Mineral County, the Eastern Panhandle, Jefferson, Morgan, Berkeley counties, Hardy County, Grant County, Tucker County, Pocahontas County, Randolph County, maybe a little bit of Greenbrier County. Those areas, if you were going to try to mine coal in those areas, boy, you'd spend $300 million just to try to get 1 million out of the ground.
When asked more specifically about natural gas,
and you could find natural gas anywhere in West Virginia, and you could, it's just in the mountains you have to drill a little bit deeper, and that's really cost prohibitive to do. You take, most of your oil and gas are going to be in this area, especially I-79, west.
If you're finding value in this video, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button. And if you're looking to find a place for good hunting, here's what Wayne has to say.
There's a lot of good hunting in West Virginia. I mean, I think anywhere you go in West Virginia, there's good hunting. Yeah.
So how about a place that is super secluded and private to a fault?
Pocahontas County is one, because Pocahontas County is about 65% national forest, so 65% public land. So anyone that owns property, pretty much most of them border national forest, unless you're in Marlinton, or in a town somewhere. And that's, that's a pretty secluded area. I mean, Pendleton County is another one too. That's a predominantly really rural county, although you get a lot of tourists coming in and out there, from Virginia. in DC, going to Seneca Rocks, but predominantly that's pretty rural. Pockets of Randolph County are the same way. Pickens, Helvetia, which is culturally is a predominantly Swiss community.
Are you interested in homesteading? Tell me all about your dream for your life in the comments below. And pay close attention to this next answer from Wayne on if there's an area in the state with an established homesteading community.
But I would say, if you're really into farming, and Monroe County's it. That is the place. Monroe, Hardy County, those two are big farming communities up there. So you look at even Preston County, although it's kind of Ridge and Valley region, but you take up places like Brewston Mills up along the Interstate 68 there, and going out through there before you hit the mountains going into Cool Springs. I mean, there's a lot of farming up there too.
And the next thing I'm going to need you to do is hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. This next answer from Wayne, it's for those of you who want your privacy and amenities.
And I think that would be any kind of major town in West Virginia being close to. So, I mean, you look at even coal fields. I mean, Logan, they have that, they have, they blew the side off that mountain there where Quarter G is. They built a Walmart and a nice little strip mall there right along US 19, which is a 4-lane Quarter G. I mean, you could drive up Route 44, up where Devil Anse is buried, and it's secluded, take you right up there to Horsepin Mountain in Mingo County, but you're still only a 30-minute drive from Logan, which has amenities. So there's a lot of different, places where you're 30 minutes away. I say pretty much anywhere you go along near a major town in West Virginia. Major town, what I mean is like any town like over 5,000, 6,000 people. You're going to find, you're going to have amenities, and you're going to have medical centers. So.
Here's some insight for those of you who would like to know more about the lay of the land. Maybe you're looking for flatland?
Flatland in West Virginia, good luck with that, unless you live in the Ohio Valley. But so anywhere you go in the state, I think, mainly your flat areas, they're not really too flat. Yeah. Usually it's your river valley regions and stuff. Because a lot of that area is like, there's a lot of big mountains there, but they're more spread apart. You get more into like Clay County, the mountains are not as high, the hills are not as high, but they're more packed together.
Right.
You get into coal fields, the hills are a little bit higher than the hills in Clay County, and they're very packed together. I mean, we're talking like hollers.
What about the best place for outdoor enthusiasts to plant themselves?
If you want to be more touristy, I think it's Fayette County. Whitewater rafting and rappelling and, that sort of thing. I mean, Fayette County is like the playground, for West Virginia. I mean, if you like skiing, of course, there's snowshoe, in Pocahontas County. There's, you got Winter Place down in, down in Raleigh County, outside of Beckley. You have Timberline and West Virginia's first ski resort, Canaan Valley. I mean, that's good winter outdoor activity. If you like, generally, if you like just any of the outdoors, but you want to kind of be more low-key, just maybe camp, whatever. I mean, we have 36 state parks across our state.
This next clip was Wayne's answer to if there was any place in West Virginia that he would not live.
I love the state, I mean, tremendously. There's no place in the state where I would not want to live, and here's why. There are communities that are facing a lot of challenges that maybe a lot of people would say, well, that's a little bit less desirable for me to want to live in, But for me, I don't think there's any place in West Virginia I wouldn't want to live in, because anywhere I go, like even if I live way out in the middle of Bradshaw, West Virginia, way down to the depths of McDowell County, where where things are just collapsing on themselves because people are just moving out in droves, the thing about West Virginia is no matter where you live, someone like me, someone like you, we can make a difference in that community if we care enough. And if we care enough, we have people in West Virginia that also care enough too, and be like, you know what, we're with you, and we'll make this place a little better.
And finally, we've come to the information that I know some of you are dying to know. Where would a man who has seen all of West Virginia, studied so much of the history and economics, and talked to a lot of locals live if he could live anywhere in West Virginia.
For me, I guess it would be Pocahontas County. I would love to have me a little cabin up on top of Spruce Flats in Pocahontas County. Right at the start of the Oswego Creek. As for a place to live that I think is, close to amenities and stuff, but good quality of life too, good community, good culture. I would say either Clarksburg, Fairmont, or Morgantown. Those three. It was like I live in Clarksburg because I want to. It was when I was going around the whole state, and saying, okay, this is where Wayne Worth wants to live.
Right, 'cause when you chose to live there, you'd already been around, what, 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah.
Wait, don't go. I have a big announcement. I know some of you have seen, but I'm sure some of you have missed it. I have started a second channel, Living in North Central West Virginia. My first video on that channel is up, and it goes hand in hand with this video. I've realized that I have too much that I want to share to keep it all on this channel. From now on, this channel will be used for the Great West Virginia Farm Tour, vlogs, tutorials, and general homesteading information. So be sure to click here to subscribe, and if you're interested in more specific information about living in North Central West Virginia, be sure to check out my other channel. You can do so by clicking this video right here. Until next time, see ya!